Yo, it's Aaron and... Is that Aaron and Aaron?
Aaron and Aaron. Hell yeah.
I like them. They're cool.
They are pretty cool guys.
Who?
They
Aaron
are
and Aaron.
two
On
wild
the
and
Kieran's
crazy guys.
Who
thing.
are they?
Aaron
Two
and
of
Aaron.
Kieran's
How
friends
many
called
times?
Aaron.
They're your friends?
Yeah.
Why are they both named Aaron?
Because that's why God made them, baby.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Likely Examiners. My name's Alex, this is Emily, and that guy's our editor. Welcome.
It's great to be here in my own home.
Thank you, editor. We much appreciate it.
Yeah.
Editor and guy who provides all of our equipment and runs everything and does all the logistics and really
idea.
makes this podcast happen.
Yeah. Hey, have you heard the news?
The news?
Yeah.
Well, I sure have heard the news. Brandon Sanderson signed a TV and film deal with Apple TV Plus.
Even better. 2 episodes of Doctor Who from 1965 have been found. Oh, yeah.
2 of how many? How many are missing?
There were 97, now there's 95.
That's crazy.
That is a lot, really.
Which 2 episodes were found?
As episode 1 and episode 3 of the Daleks Master Plan.
Ooh, very
That's one of your
exciting.
favourites, I think.
How'd you know?
It is. I've heard you talk about the Daleks Master Plan so much.
So often. Well, Emily, you're the one who's least familiar with anything that we're talking about here.
What are you talking about? I know everything.
Are you aware that there are missing episodes of Doctor Who?
Well, I actually asked Alex on the way over what the hell you were talking about, so...
I did give her a very quick rundown
Yes.
of the
Okay.
concept. but-
Yes.
Well, for those unaware, the thing is that Doctor Who in the 60s was shot on videotape. And the videotape masters would later be wiped for reuse because the tapes themselves were more valuable than the programs because you couldn't repeat them in those days. Mm-hmm. It's an interesting thing where back then the Actors Union were actually against the idea of repeats because they were worried that if they were to repeat programs then they would eventually not have to make new programs and all the actors would be out of work. It sort of feels like the way we feel about AI now. They're sort of scared. They were scared of repeats taking their jobs, you know. So they weren't allowed to repeat these programs after a certain amount of time. So they would just wipe them and reuse the tapes. So all of the episodes from 60s Doctor Who were wiped, and half of John Pertwee's were wiped as well. Mm-hmm. The only reason that we have any of them is because luckily Doctor Who was sold overseas to great countries like Australia.
Australia was the second country to ever get Doctor Who, if I remember correctly.
That is
'cause it
correct.
Started airing here in 1964.
Yeah, I reckon so.
Yeah.
New Zealand was first. and
New
then-
Zealand was first.
Yeah.
Wow, there you go.
Well, the way it went with international sales is that Australia would put up the money up front because of the cost of licensing for international broadcast is quite expensive. And all these other Commonwealth countries wouldn't have afforded it on their own. Mm-hmm. So we would put up like 90% of the money and then everyone else would chip in the rest. Mm-hmm. And so the Daleks Master Plan is quite unique. And this is why it's so amazing that it's this particular story. Not just because there's Daleks in it, which is great, but it's the least likely story to have ever been found after the fact because it wasn't sold overseas. Because Australia, we decided it was too frightening, you know? Literally, the censors looked at it.
So we're pussies.
We are, yeah.
Yeah.
What it was Australia aired Doctor Who at an earlier time slot than in the UK, so we had to make it sort of like child friendly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
the
that makes
censors would
sense.
always cut out shots of like knives being stabbed into people's backs and gunshots and things like this and people
That's really
screaming.
funny to me.
And they would make these cuts, but because of like the law, they would do it by the book. They would make cuts to the prints that they were going to show. They'd show them without these, seconds of clips that they would cut out, and then bicycle the prints onto the next countries. But by the book, they had to keep these cuts that they'd made just to document the fact that they had made a cut. And once they'd got rid of the episodes, and ultimately those prints would be destroyed as per the contract when the rights for broadcast had run out, they kept all these cuts just in their own archive at the ABC for decades. And in the 90s, they found those clips. So there's a number of these missing Doctor Who's where you can't actually watch the episode, but you can watch the clips that the ABC cut out. The little
We don't have the
violent...
episode, but we have a total of 2 minutes 30 of gunshots and stab
Yes,
the
yes,
episodes,
right.
and that's it.
We've got like 5 seconds. It's like stab, shoot, scream. Brilliant. The exact bits that we didn't want you to see are now the only bits you can see.
Huzzah.
Right.
It's kind of ironic, really.
That's Australia. That's great.
Yeah. I find it really interesting that, like, you know, the censorship in the 60s and stuff, because we look back at it now and we're like, oh, you know, that's not scary at all. But it is funny because back in the day it was genuinely terrifying. Like,
Well, it's like people who saw Jaws or Psycho, like they were genuinely scared of those movies. We watch them and we go,
You watch them and go, Jaws scares the shit out of me. I have complete, like, shark phobia. I cannot watch Jaws.
well, on that
Wow.
note, when
Yeah.
I went on the Jaws ride in Japan and the shark popped up right next to me, I did scream because I wasn't expecting it.
I also screamed on the Jaws ride in Japan. Yeah, no, that's a very scary ride.
I had that with the Jaws ride at the, I think, Universal Studios in Los Angeles.
Well, it
was
was
just
Universal
Yeah,
Studios
Japan.
Japan, so it's
Yeah.
probably the same, but ours wasn't in English.
That's it.
I was like, I have no idea what's happening. Ah, shark!
That makes it even scarier, yeah.
Yeah, no, it really does.
Oh, I can't watch a documentary on, like, Universal Studios or, like, just documentaries on popular films because I'll just throw in a clip of Jaws and I'll just be like enjoying this documentary and just shit myself.
I never knew you had a shark phobia. Or
Yeah.
maybe I did, but it's just been so long since you told me that it's just...
Probably. I don't like to mention it. Who-
You must have really
Probably.
hated A Christmas Carol, the 2012 Doctor Who special.
Well, that's different because when it's CGI, there's something in your head that just says, "Oh, that's fake." That's
Yeah,
And
I
the
see.
shark in Jaws doesn't seem fake to you.
Well, I know that it's. I understand that it's a mechanical shark.
But it looks fake.
It looks like it was there. That's that's the thing.
Fair.
It was
Physical
there.
tangibility to
Yes.
it, and that's
Okay.
what's scary.
Anyway, where was I? The Daleks Master Plan.
Yeah.
So
Scary.
I know it was very frightening. One episode has the word devil in the title. And that's one that they found.
Wow.
That they have found, if I
Where
want
did
to speak
they
correctly.
find these episodes?
I'll tell you. Because, well, to finish the history, is that Australia decided there'd be too many censor cuts to these episodes that it wouldn't make any sense once you cut it. So we just said no. Because it's a 12-part story. It's the longest Doctor Who story. Most stories are like 4 parts or 6 parts. This was 12 parts.
War Games is 10, right?
10.
10, yeah.
And came later. And Trial of a Time Lord is 14, but that's not really the same thing.
Yeah.
I was just searching up what a Dalek is.
What a Dalek is?
No, because I thought I knew, and then I was like, I just need to confirm.
Yeah.
Do you have a Dalek up here
To
somewhere?
be honest, no.
Yeah.
I used to have loads.
There's one on the poster over there.
Yeah, that's a Dalek. Well, there, right there.
Power of the Daleks, yeah. Yeah.
That is from the story that I'm talking about. But that's from episode 2.
So, how many episodes of the Daleks Master Plan is there now?
Well, there was 3. There's now 5.
You
And
don't even have half the episode, or half the story.
we are almost halfway.
Very close.
But to be fair, 5 episodes. We've now got more of this story than there are of most stories.
Yeah.
Most
yeah.
stories are 4 episodes long, so we
Yeah.
have more
Yeah,
of this
yeah.
mostly missing story. Where did they come from, these prints? Well, the prints that were made for the ABC to review for the censorship were sent back to the UK after being rejected, and these made their way out because the 3 existing episodes, which was episodes 2, 5 and 10, 5 and 10 were found in the 80s in the basement of a Mormon church. No, don't laugh. It's true.
Alright.
No, it's like the last place I expected to find missing episodes, especially because, you know, I feel like, especially back in the 60s, Doctor Who would have probably been pretty heavily criticised by a lot of Christian groups because it would have been like, you know,
Sure.
like, especially like, because, you know, I know Mormonism is on the...
Fucked? Sorry. Most cults are from
Most
Mormon
cults,
churches.
I mean, yeah, I mean, yeah. But what I was going to say is that Mormonism is on the extreme side of Christianity in their
Sure.
beliefs. And, you know, a lot of that comes with, like, time travel back in the past and saying that the past was science and evolution based and not God made people is often considered a negative in that. And also, it's just, you know, there's a lot of stuff in Doctor Who that I imagine would not be seen as okay by the church standards, you know, because
it's
they
probably all blasphemy.
very high. Exactly, it's all blasphemy. They have high censorship of anything anti-Christian, and it's just funny that
well,
where they were.
Mormon Church of all places where we
would have
found
them. Well,
2
what
episodes.
it is, apparently the building that the Mormon Church was previously a BBC building. So
Yeah, that makes
Okay,
more
that makes
sense, I
sense.
guess. Yeah.
I don't think
There wasn't
like,
some Mormons in the 60s like...
we got to get those episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Episode 2 of the Daleks Master Plan was not found in a Mormon church. That was returned by an ex-BBC employee who just kept it and gave it back in 2004. So we're averaging new episodes of the Daleks Master Plan every 20 years, basically.
Okay, cool. So in 20 years' time...
Episode 7 coming back. Hell yeah.
Like
What about
7.
episode 6?
Imagine if they'd found 6 and 7.
Would have been great.
That
It would have been really funny.
And then 9 and 11.
Yeah. But they were both on the same reel somehow. There's only one reel.
Conspiracy.
Emily doesn't understand that there were 2
Stop!
planes. She thought there was 2 towers and 1 plane.
She thought the plane went into the first tower, parked, then reversed out and
Took
flew
off.
around to the
Yeah.
second tower.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a really strong plane.
Really strong plane. Did you think it was like 2 shot, like at once, or because it?
No, but like I feel like when I wasn't thinking about it, yes, that's what I thought. But I knew it. They didn't just like one after the other.
Yeah,
So
didn't
I
just
think,
plow right through.
yeah, I didn't really think about it.
Because famously there was like a gap, and then they
And then-
hit the second tower.
The second tower.
Yeah. There is a line in episode 3 of the Daleks Master Plan that does feel relevant to it being found, because they're looking at this. They're looking at the terranium core, which is the item that everyone's after in the story, and it's a very rare mineral. And the Doctor says something like, not a lot of people in the universe get to see this, and it's like
Looks
yeah.
at the cameras.
Yeah. No, that's episode 7, because this is the story. Are you familiar with the Feast of Stephen, the first ever Doctor Who Christmas special?
I don't think I am, no.
Because they were probably like running out of plot for this story, this 12-part thing. Episode 7 of the Daleks Master Plan aired on Christmas Day in '65. And so it takes a complete detour from, like, the Daleks aren't in that episode. The TARDIS just like lands in, they were going to do a crossover with Z cars. It lands in a police station and it lands in some Hollywood set. And it's a complete like comedy, silly, stupid episode. And it ends with the Doctor turning to camera and saying Merry Christmas to all of you at home, And it's like the first complete fourth wall break in Doctor Who and the first Christmas episode. And then the next episode they get back to this like too scary to broadcast in Australia.
Oh
Doctor
no.
Who.
Complete tonal shift for Christmas
Yeah,
Day, and then,
yeah. It, to the point where when it was offered for international sale, they didn't include episode 7 in the sale because it wouldn't have made sense to not broadcast at Christmas, basically.
Yeah.
So that particular episode probably wasn't even ever transferred to film for sale. So when that videotape was wiped, that's probably it for that episode, sadly. But for the rest of the episodes, and the 2 prints that have been found, are cutting copies. And cutting copies are a stage that come between the telerecording and making prints for international sales. So when you transfer the videotape to film, which is basically a setup that you point a film camera at a screen that's playing a videotape, you then get the negative of that film. You'll make a cutting copy, which is just making a print and assessing it for technical details, if you've got your settings right, basically, if there's a fly on the monitor or something. And if it's all good, you'll start running off the prints to actually send away. And that was all just handled like at the external lab. So there's no actual like documentation for how many cutting copies or what episodes or what happened to them afterwards. Because I suppose you wouldn't necessarily even have to make one for every episode. I mean, as far as I know. But for whatever reason, these 2 episodes had cutting copies that were kept by someone and made their way into private collections. So what's happened is that there's this outfit in the UK called Film is Fabulous, which is a charity organisation that is going to film collectors and asking them, look, what are your plans for this collection after basically you die? Because collectors are getting older and they're passing away, and their families aren't going to necessarily know what to do with their film collections. You hear stories of like, oh, that guy, he had all this stuff and his family just like threw it away because they didn't know what it was, And so they're cataloguing it, going through it, and they're not treasure hunting for Doctor Who specifically, you know? And I think a lot of Doctor Who fans are only interested in the Doctor Who, but these guys are film people, they're not TV people even. Because most film collectors won't have episodes of television, they'll have films. And it just so happened this guy had 6 prints of Doctor Who episodes, 4 of which are episodes that already exist in the archives. But these 2, completely unique, completely don't exist anywhere else in the world.
So what happens from here? Because like they've been found by Film is Fabulous. Did you say was the charity? So they've Film is Fabulous has got them. How does it go with like? Because obviously, like, you know, you've probably got like copyright, as we know from An Unearthly Child / The Tribe of Gum. Copyright for the 60s episodes can still affect modern day sort of, you know, publication and broadcast and stuff. How does it work with like, you know, like I assume that hopefully one day we'll get to see these episodes.
We will.
How does it go from like being found by this to like, you know, does it go to the BBC? Does it go... Do they just put it on YouTube and say, fuck you, BBC?
Yeah, Film is Fabulous say, fuck you, BBC.
Yeah.
And just put the copyrighted material
I
up on YouTube.
feel like Film is Fabulous shouldn't have a good working relationship with the BBC. No.
This is the BBC.
No good reason there.
Yeah. They're being released on Easter, is these episodes. Yes. They've been digitised by Restore, which is the outfit in the UK. The E is a 3. I don't know how you pronounce that, but Restore. So I don't know what the funding is, whether Film is Fabulous pay for the restoration themselves or the BBC put out for it. But yeah, they return these digital copies at least to the BBC, to whoever the copyright owner is, if there's interest, which in this case certainly is. I don't know what happened to the physical films, I don't know if the BBC really need the film itself in their archive or if they want it or what. Presumably the estate or the collector, if they're still alive, which in this instance they're not, want to keep it or what, but that's up to them and that's the private part, you know. But yeah, for us, we will get to see digitally restored copies of these film prints on iPlayer on April the 4th, I think, is the Saturday of Easter. There's been chatter online from Doctor Who fans about, well, are they going to do the full length of restoration that you'd see for the Blu-ray range, which I don't think they are, because they're just interested in restoring the film that they have, the 16mm print. Because what they'll do for the Blu-rays, this episode 1 in particular, there are certain sequences that were originally shot on film, so not on videotape, because Doctor Who, like I say, at the time it was all shot on videotape, but there are certain bits that for whatever reason, like if it's location work or it's something they wanted to shoot at Ealing Film Studios to get a big set, or there's like a water tank scene or something, they'll shoot it on film. And so in this episode 1, there is a sequence that was shot on 35mm film at Ealing. It's the first appearance of the Dalek in the episode. And we actually have that. We've had that for a long time. And so it's been the only episode, the only clip of the episode that we've had. Obviously, if you have the original film, you can scan that in proper HD or 4K if it's 35mm film. And the other thing that they'll do to restore these episodes for Blu-ray and DVD and that is they will perform a process that is called vidfire, which is very exciting sounding, but it's to return the look of the film to the look of videotape, which is basically doubling the frame rate and probably a bit of noise reduction, grain reduction. I don't think any of that's being done for this current release on iPlayer.
Yeah.
Just because film is fabulous, like I say, not Doctor Who people, they're film people. This is what the film print looks like. So that's what we're seeing. All that other stuff and 5.1 surround sound audio mixes or whatever, that can come later for the Blu-rays. But for now, we're just seeing the way it looks, which is going to be quite interesting.
Is there, because we've got quite a few Hartnell Blu-rays already, right, of that seasons?
Well, we got one.
We've only got one Hartnell?
Yeah, they've held back on the 60s sets.
Because it's...
for instances like this, I guess. Where
that's
you
fair.
wait for more episodes to exist.
Because Hartnell's season 2, right?
Yeah.
The one that's out. Is season 2 complete then? Is that like got any missing episodes?
Very nearly. There's literally only 2 episodes of one story is missing. It's the most complete season.
Which story is that?
That's the Crusade.
Crusade.
Episodes 2 and 4 are missing. We've got 1 and 3.
What do they do in the Blu-rays for that? Because I know that you said, because there's is it television it's called, where they like tele-snap as they took photos throughout the episode. Because I know I think we've even watched an episode before that was I think we watched Celestial Toymaker and tele-snap before the animation came out. That was just so tele-snap was sometimes they would like take photos of the TV as it was broadcasting for records, and they would do audio recording. So some episodes you can't watch the episode, but you can listen to the episode and have like a picture that was snapped every like certain interval to sort of get an idea of what happened. And
this is where we're very lucky as Doctor Who fans, is that all of the missing episodes we do actually have the audio because fans would record it. And that's the only reason. So you can listen to every episode, and most stories have what were called telesnaps, which was a trademark term from the one chap who did them, John Cura. It's an incredible quirk of the time, is that this guy made a living out of this business where it was just, I'll take photographs of the TV as the show was airing and I'll give them back to you. And he was hired by actors and directors and producers to take photographs of their own show, and so the producers of Doctor Who in the 60s mostly hired this guy just on bulk. Unfortunately, the producer of season 3, I think John Wiles, decided not to. So for Daleks Master Plan particularly, there are no telesnaps. Toymaker, there's no telesnaps. But we still have these reconstructions because there's a lot of on-set photography for publicity purposes. And another of the weird quirks of how lucky we are, talking about episode 7 of the Daleks Master Plan, where the Doctor looks at the camera, we do actually have a handful of photographs of the screen for that, not because of John Cura, but an actor from that episode on Christmas Day just decided to take some pictures of his own appearance and some other pics, like the shot of the Doctor looking at the camera. So, and they existed long enough to be printed in a Doctor Who magazine. The originals of which do not seem to exist anymore, but we have the magazine they were printed in. So yes, there's a lot of like curios like that you can put together to make these reconstructions.
Yeah, it is. It's fascinating. I love it. I think it's so cool how like much of, especially like looking at Doctor Who, like how much of it is fan community based, and like, people who just love the show have all come together to preserve it in the best they can. I mean, it's pretty impressive for the 60s if you think about it. Like the fact that, like you say, I mean, I didn't know that I thought the audio recording was a thing sort of similar to telesnaps, where it was like a thing, but I didn't know
not a professional thing at all.
Yeah, so how would people record that audio? Like back in the 60s, because like, if I were going to record audio, I've got a smartphone.
Yeah.
People in the 60s...
like reel-to-reel little audio recorders.
Yeah.
There were no, like VHS, there was no domestic video recording. You couldn't record a TV broadcast.
You mean like, like pointing at the camera and recording it.
That also happened. There was a fan in Australia in the 60s who had like a little 8mm film camera. I don't know if it's hand cranked or what, but just pointed it at the screen. And so there's a handful of really dodgy quality clips, again, just seconds at a time, that they recorded off the TV as it was being broadcast. But no, in terms of a proper...
that's totally what I thought when you thought domestic. I just pictured somebody, but
so
I get what you mean now.
Back in the day, we'd put the video in and record what was happening on the TV.
Record
That's how I had Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. You'd always be like, I'm going to miss a story. Mum, Dad, we've got to record the TV.
I recorded a lot of the Doctor Who broadcasts in 2003, the repeats.
Yeah.
And indeed the first entire Chris Eccleston season in 2005. But no, there's only ever been a handful of video recording from the late 60s. They did find a Doctor Who episode, one Doctor Who episode from the 60s that was recorded at home. Sadly, it was the one episode of that particular story that already existed. So
always the way.
Yeah, there's the penultimate Patrick Troughton story right before the War Games is the Space Pirates, and it's 6 episodes long, and we have episode 2 already. And they found an off-air video recording, like the rarest thing in the world, and it was episode 2. Yeah, useless. I've seen a recording of a sketch show as well that was on ITV, and someone pointed out that was a domestic recording, that it was on at the same time as an episode of Fury from the Deep, which is missing. So you're watching this rare as hen's teeth off-air video recording from the 60s, and you just think, if you would just change the fucking channel.
I think it was just wild to me to consider the fact that there was more than one plane. Like, a big, terror plot.
Well, there was 3, maybe 4 planes.
Yeah, but,
There was
it's
4
just
planes.
wild. It's crazy to me that stuff happens.
I don't know about
was
the
a-
4th plane hullabaloo, but...
You don't know
3,
about the
maybe
4th
4.
plane?
I know about 3 planes, but I never heard of 4th plane.
There were 4 planes.
What's up?
There were 4 planes in 9/11.
Hey, so America knew that Japan was going to bomb Pearl Harbor.
Well, why didn't they tell Donald Trump about it, Did you see that?
What?
You haven't seen... Oh, you got to keep up with the news. Come on. I know we're talking about the Daleks Master Plan. did you see the conference in the White House the other day where a Japanese reporter asked Trump why he didn't tell any other countries that they were about to bomb Iran?
I didn't see that, no.
And Trump goes, well, you don't want to let people know what your plan is, Why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor?
Oh my gosh.
You know what?
Yeah,
Yeah, there were 4 planes. I'm sorry.
yeah. I'm sorry too.
What happened to the other 2?
One of them actually hit the Pentagon.
So, yeah, there's so much like little random stuff. You got those 8mm off-air clips from Australia. You got the soundtrack. You got telesnaps. You got set photos, and you got sensor clips from Australia and New Zealand that are seconds at a time. And you put it all together, and it's still not as good as watching the real thing. So
Yeah, absolutely.
we're very
Yeah.
happy. And there's just so much you still can't. Well, we have the camera scripts as well, so you can make these reconstructions knowing this is when they cut to another shot, they zoom in, and obviously the camera script is going to change in studio when they're rehearsing and that, but it's the basic idea. But you can never pick up on things that, like just the clips that they've put out for these missing episodes that have been found. The first one they put out has Hartnell holding this terranium, and I'm just obsessed with the fact that Hartnell's hair is completely fucked. It's like hanging out like this. It's like having a bad hair day. I'm like, that wasn't in the camera script.
Yeah.
It's like just random like little facts. William Hartnell's hair was completely out of place during this scene. You would never know that without seeing the episode.
Yeah,
It's just like-
absolutely.
and the great thing about these particular episodes, this story, is it was directed by Douglas Camfield, who is regarded as one of the great Doctor Who directors. And we're very lucky because with most of the episodes that have been found in like my lifetime have all been Douglas Camfield episodes, so they just look really great.
How many more left is there missing? Because you said there was 95, right?
There's now 95 missing episodes.
Out of those 95 missing episodes, how many of those do we have nothing for?
What is it? The 3 stories that have no moving footage at all are Marco Polo, Mission to the Unknown, and The Massacre. But we have audio for everything.
We have audio for everything?
Yeah.
So there's audio for... Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Telesnap wise, it's mostly season 3. Like I say about The Massacre having no moving footage, that also is a season 3 story that has no telesnaps. And on-set photography is limited. That's probably one that has the least of anything.
Yeah, interesting.
Which is a shame because that story is... Oh, I can tell you my Massacre story. Because that story is one where William Hartnell, who plays the Doctor, also plays another role. He plays the villain of the story as well. It's a slightly confused script because you think, like a doppelganger story, you will have people mistaking one for the other. There's a bit of that. The companion thinks that, that's the Doctor. And then he dies, and so he's like, is the Doctor dead? No, the Doctor shows up. But there's no real interrogation or examination of why that happens, why this Abbot of Amboise
Do we know
is the villain. It looks like the Doctor.
behind the scenes why it happened? Like, was it just kind of like a thing of
I
like,
don't even think so, really.
this guy was meant to come in, but now like he can't come in and we need someone to play the villain. William
Just get
Hartnell, you'll
to
do,
it.
mate. Like,
You're
yeah.
here. It's not a big part of the story, really.
It's not even like William Hartnell was playing the villain in an episode and then like 2 years later was the Doctor. # Colin Baker, # Karen Gillan, # Peter Capaldi. But like, it's...
Hashtag free Madge. Benjamin, hashtag Ian Martin,
Yeah, yeah.
hashtag Peter Purvis. Yeah, no, there's not really. It's odd. I think maybe
Hashtag
they
Billy
just
Piper.
sure. The odd thing, I'll tell you my massacre story, which is that the villain that the Hartnell plays is called the Abbot of Amboise. He's a religious figure, an abbot. There's no on-set photography of him as the character, so people just assume that he wears some sort of gown that an abbot would wear. We don't know what colour it was, of brown or white or what. But when I was doing a video in 2017, when I was doing just colorizations as a fan, I wanted to do a video that included colorized clips that I would colour, a clip from every Hartnell story, right? Which is difficult when there's these stories that have no footage. So for the massacre, I had to make one up. I created a composite clip using a shot from The Crusade, actually, episode 3. And I edited a generic abbot gown onto the footage. And I used that in my video. But when we came to do the Daleks in colour, a proper official project, the ending of that Daleks in colour is a montage of various other Hartnell clips, just as a sort of, here's what you could have won, here's what we could do if we did more stories, and for that, our editor Ben clipped a bunch of stuff out of this video that I had done, because that made it easier for us, because we had such a workload. It's easier if we've already done these clips and just put them in. So there was a lot of stuff from my video to work
Was there
from.
stuff from other creators as well? Because I imagine
From the other members of our team,
you weren't the only one who was previously doing colorization.
For sure. But one of the clips that he cut out of my video was this composite shot of the Abbot of Amboise. And I think I tarted it up a bit for the final product there. But once it had been used in a official project, it becomes official BBC footage that they can use wherever, whenever. And it's based on, it's a shot from The Crusade, it's BBC footage anyway. The fact that it's been edited, the costume, to actually be the villain is by the by. But you may remember in Ncuti Gatwa's penultimate episode where the Rani is revealed, and it's a story where it's like an alternate reality, and the Doctor has his memories wiped, and then at the end of the episode he gets them back, and there's like a flash montage of all the previous Doctors as he's remembering who he is. The shot of the first Doctor that they use is in fact my edited composite clip of the Abbot of Amboise.
So it technically is, the original footage was Hartnell playing the Doctor, but the intended of the clip was actually Hartnell not playing.
Yes. So for whatever reason, the 15th Doctor, when he gets all of his memories back, the first thing he thinks about is the Abbot of Amboise.
That's great. That's actually...
Yeah. Or if you like, it's some sort of false memory of himself wearing a gown, and it's, it can be whatever you want it to be.
I kind of want to watch that clip now.
There we go.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
Spider-Man. That's not real.
Yeah.
Spider-Man isn't real?
I'm sorry to break it to you.
You're telling me there's not a guy in a red and blue suit swinging around New York saving people, stopping crime?
No.
No, there is. It's Kermit the Frog, who is real.
Buddy.
What?
That's just a puppet
Kermit
with
the
someone's
Frog's
hand.
fabric with an ass shoved up his ass. A hand. Hold on. Lean back.
Take two.
Let me. Buddy, Kermit the Frog's just a piece of fabric. Take 3. Go back. Buddy, Kermit the Frog is just a piece of fabric with a hand shoved up his ass.
Oh my god.
Yeah, right?
Oh no.
Hey, I get this. I just found out Spider-Man wasn't real. It's a tough break out there.
Hey,
Fozzie
I'm
Bear's
fine.
just a woolly jumper with a hat on.
Fuzzy Bear is a woolly jumper with a hat on. Ah, Kermit, funny. Oh boy, those two old guys don't handle me.
Actually, I'm not going to lie. The trailer didn't get me that excited. Like, I thought, yeah, like, I'll go see it because I love Spider-Man. I'm a pretty big Spider-Man fan, so, like, I'll definitely go see it. But I don't know, I watched it and I was like, yeah, looks alright.
Yeah.
Just didn't...
I was just imagining, like, Man Spider. Don't know what that looks like, because I don't read the comics or anything. But, like, what I'm picturing in my head is the giant spider in Harry Potter, and that terrified me.
He was in those missing episodes of The Crusade.
You know, I can't tell when you're being sarcastic.